The last time we'd spoken, we'd just finished a cohort of Year 7s and we decided that we were going to trial this with older students, with Year 9s. We also looked at a larger number of students to make it a bit more authentic to a real classroom, with that focus on transitioning back into mainstream classes. So, that's new. The facilities are also new because we were working out of a temporary space. And what we've done this term is constantly learned how to use the space that we've got, to get the best results for the students.
We're learning a lot. The one thing that we are succeeding in, and you can see the data to prove it, is students that have had long-term absences, we've got them now turning up to school.
When you're talking about students that are severely disengaged from school, that you can really only help students who are here. And the fact that we're sitting here towards the end of the year with nearly a full complement of students and actually completing every assessment task that they've been given is a pleasant surprise, because we probably wouldn't have expected that level of completion. We had good relationships with the students, even though they were disengaging from education, good relationships with the engagement team. Coming into this space, we learned that we probably had to do a little bit more work up front in removing the stigma of being involved in a FlexiSpace classroom. So the student reaction largely has been positive, but we've had to do some very early trust building with the students that there is a goal in mind and that this is something that's here for them and it's here to improve them. And based on the student reflections, I think we've sort of validated what we're doing and they've adapted well.
One of the learnings is that it has to be unique to the school. You need to ensure that you actually build in your system to your school climate, to your context, and for us that meant the add-on into our student engagement, which was already established.
We worked individually with students on their focus plans, so they were part of the process, so they owned part of the process and they knew where they wanted to get to. And the big part of the process for them was to be able to return to mainstream schooling. Students didn't like being suspended, they didn't like being away from their mates, they didn't like being detached from the school, and this gave them an opportunity to not just want something, but to have a plan to achieve that. The support for students coming to a FlexiSpace isn't cut off to a specific time frame. So the students may be coming out of a FlexiSpace classroom, but they still have people that are tracking their individual performance around behaviour, attendance and academic results. They still have to have someone that they know that they can go to lean on, and someone who can be that preventative person for them. I think it's probably important to have that safety net that sits there for students, and rather than an intense experience in a program and then setting them off to school and saying good luck may be counterproductive too. Well, you can lose some of that trust that you work really hard to establish. This is probably a really good vehicle to show parents that it's not really just about here's the four walls of the classroom, here's the lesson, and here's a set of rules and aim up or ship out, that there are multiple things at play working for their children and working to engage their child in education. And if that means that they're working with the students at home on it, or at least that they're aware of what the students are talking about, then we're already a couple of steps ahead.
Something that's happened that we didn't anticipate. It's becoming a home for the students. They're turning up early, they're having their breakfast, they're hanging around at lunch, and it's like they've found a space where they feel safe in the school and they want to be a part of.
The academic data, I think, is probably the next one to really look into, and we want to see how modified assessment practices may have played into that, because that will inform practice in the school about how we roll out assessment. I'm really keen to see at the end of this term where our students' academic results are at.
I am seeing a very clear difference in their behaviour and their learning from what I saw 6 months ago.
It's been a really interesting process in that we've learned so much at every step, and we're always thinking one term ahead in terms of what we're learning now, how that might change things in the future.
What this offered us was the opportunity to drive that culture even further, to make sure that everyone knew that every student counted no matter what, and it upped the ante on inclusive learning. So inclusive learning is not just students with disabilities or the different cultural groups in the school. It's actually disengaged students and those individual students that aren't turning up to school, that are having behaviour issues. So it allowed us to refocus.
Personally, I found that really exciting to constantly realise these are the things that we're nailing, these are the things that are working, And if we're coming up with challenges that we don't seem to be hitting a brick wall, I think we're just simply looking at opportunities for what we can do differently next time. And we're already excited about what we're going to do with this space in 2019.